Etc. So we've gone there, get Fed up there, always one of the best movers, so get him in position. So looking at some of the shapes that we're looking at. The start, you're moving towards where you want to go. The foot, the ankle, it's the first thing in contact. It has to be strong. If it's like weak, you're not going to go anywhere. But you've got to be moving towards that direction of travel. So the body shape is going where? Always say, don't leave the body behind. It's like, whoa, leave the body behind. Take it with you. And so we've got things for this. So if you're on the warm-up this morning, the sprint warm-up we did, we're having that just like the 1, 2, 3 push, and then the bouncing, things like that. Anything that's getting that contact into the ground, that foot-ankle contact, is going to really help with that acceleration, that push away, that stiff ankle as you go. The pogos, like I just did, you can do it forwards, backwards, sideways, just anything that's getting that contact in, looking for height. You need to kick the toes up towards the sky, looking for height to it. We also want to think about when we're having to move, we first need to accept the forces down and absorb them. And with that, physically, in my mind, all the studies will tell you that it's looking at kind of hamstring muscles, especially semitendinosus muscle, the soleus, one of the calf muscles. So we want to do exercises that are going to work on that and your ability to accept the force down. So something like a snap down, where you're coming up and then coming down, and just literally just holding it, accepting it. You can do that with a kettlebell. You can come up there, boom. So just that ability to just hold that position, just land and accept that force rather than sort of being like. So you can only kind of move if you first accepted the force down. Any kind of forward march, so if I have a band around someone and they're just kind of marching forward, boom, really getting that contact. You're only going to get out of the ground what you put into it. So if you're pushing off softly, you're not going to go anywhere. If you're pushing off powerfully, you're going to go. And then just talking about some of the strength exercises. If anyone's done an RDL before, really targets the hamstring muscles. So sideways on, dropping down, pulling up. It's going to really focus on that posterior chain. You can take that into a swing. So from here, up, and then loading through the hips and hamstrings. Again, just work on those muscles that we need to work physiologically to help move. I won't necessarily go through all of these, by the way. It's just like a little selection. And there's plenty more as well. If you have a box, you just step off and hold it. Obviously, that's quite a low box. We can go higher and higher and higher. It becomes harder to accept that force. You can step off it, then rebound up. So you're getting that quick contact. You'll only be able to go up if you've controlled it on the way down. You then come up and then push sideways. So again, we're kind of overloading that landing. And if it's not, if it's not strong enough, that'll be tough to move away. Go easy on it though. Don't go crazy high. Just sort of start off and push. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then probably seen plenty of people on the tour having a band around them and then just sprinting, having some accelerations resisted. I'm trying to prevent Michael having to come out to demonstrate for everyone. So, does that make sense? If you've got someone resisting and just like having a sprint against the resistance. So if you have it with the resistance, take away the resistance. In theory, the body thinks you've still got the resistance, and then you'll fly. So that's a rapid kind of run through on those. What I also saw, I've been outside this morning, and I don't know who was in the group I was with here, but I was just commenting a little bit on perhaps the relative lack of a split step going on. Whether that's fair or not, I don't know, but yeah, a few nods of recognition. So just there, kind of like, oh, I'm going to move. Again, that's going to be way harder, way less athletic to move from there. So if you have that split step, then you're boom, then you can go. Even split, but you're in a position to move. Uneven split, you can go. So one request I would maybe say when you go back out there this afternoon is to really look to nail those split steps. I'd just be really intrigued to know how you feel after that. If you just nail those split steps and move, I reckon you'll feel a massive, massive difference. All right? All good with those? Tina's off to practice her split steps. Sorry. So then we've got to decelerate. So once we've got there, we need to slow down. So that means if you're leaning towards where you want to go, once you're there, you've got to be more upright to decelerate. So the force, instead of going out there, has to go down. And I always say that doesn't matter if you're moving forward or sideways. At that point where you want to decelerate, it needs to be going down into the ground, or down into the ground. If you're going forwards, down into the ground, because then you'll stop. If you're not doing that effectively, you'll kind of be like, you'll keep going. That's my take on it anyway. So things are a little bit more upright. So you can see their Fed's like loading and they're going to come through and hit. So then looking at deceleration as being the ability to hold that position with a nice upright posture. So almost just holding. So if you have a kettlebell coming forward, can you hold that position in an isometric? Hold that strength. This is going to be trying to pull me over. So I've got to try and hold that position. Similar kind of idea, you can have it with the kettlebell. The split's up here. How's my posture looking? Am I leaning? Am I holding? Am I absorbing that force? Hops and holds. Again, coming forward, we did it on the one, but just can you, as you land, can you hold it? Or is it kind of like, so as you land, trying to pull yourself down into the ground and nail the landing. Do that sideways as well. Down into the ground as you land. Again, ideally, we're sort of looking at maybe our height on one of those. You can go for lateral bound, so one leg to the other. A hop is same leg to same leg, so left to left. Then a bound is opposite. So you go further with the bound. You can then take that a little bit further. So if you've gone for the lateral bound, if you've absorbed it appropriately and you've controlled that deceleration, you can then go up. But you'll only be able to get up if you've effectively controlled on the lateral. And then instead of having the resisted, I've missed out the Viper, I haven't got a Viper, it's like a long cylindrical tube that you can tilt with it. If we've had the resisted speed for the acceleration, you can have almost like the assisted or the overspeed. So if I've got an athlete there and I'm pulling them towards me with the band after a split set, pull them towards me, there's more force than they're probably used to, so they have to work hard to decelerate. So it means like I'm being pulled towards here and I have to go, whoa! And I have to hold my position. The bottom two there, they're a little bit more kind of perception action, so a bit reactive to just challenge your ability to stop. So you can have someone sprint or move, give them a visual cue in some respect, and have to stop where they are. So you're putting like a time pressure, putting like a challenge to it, which is a little bit less than the physiological, but can be in there as well. And then the ball bridge, like you have a ball and you roll it side to side, and they have to go there and almost like make a bridge for the ball to go through. By the way, I'm happy to go through any of these on court over the next couple of days with anyone if anyone wants to. So the load rotate, I think pretty much most people know